motherfucking middle finger up in this bitch. ATL, St. Louis, Alabama, Chicago, the Carolinas, DC, Bay Area, Miami, New York, Vegas, Texas. Y'all niggas can't fuck up my niggas home. 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 Motherfuck that nigga, motherfuck that bitch. 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 Y'all niggas more flexing that thought than that.
Yes, sir, man. You already know exactly what time it is. We're back here to Sir Smoke Game on the ground for them hungry hounds. So just grab the pound and they're ready for the next round. So with that being said, make sure to grab your snacks, your drinks, your weed, whatever the fuck the case may be, and we finna jump right into this bitch, man. And I just realized something. Are these on backwards? No. I don't know why I seem to remember. I think I'm tripping, yo. I don't know why I seem to remember the mic being on the right side instead of the left. I think I'm losing my shit, but I ain't even gonna lie. With that being said, we're back here to check out your boy Tristan Tate's new fucking interview that he just did with I don't remember what the fuck his name is. Jack Neal, the Jack Neal podcast. He did an interview with them, same person that interviewed Tate recently. So I'm interested to see what Tristan has to say. So with that being said, if you guys are interested as well, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this shit. Let me go ahead and get this shit pulled up real quick and then pull this out like so. Bam, just like that. All right. So I have my fucking snack right here. Some good old Taco Bell. And my fucking drink right here. Some good old Mountain Dew. That shit is hitting. So we're gonna jump into this shit, man. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Hey, welcome to the Jack Neal podcast.
Glad to be here.
Hopefully it never gets to that point, but do you think they would kill you or just Andrew?
Oh, it would definitely be both of us. Because the problem is, any influence he has would immediately be passed on to me the moment he died. You know, I don't like to dive too much into my various legal problems, but they've really shown their hand. And they've really shown the fact that they're definitely trying to just persecute both of us. Because it seems every crime Andrew's committed, I've committed the same crime in the same country at the same time. Oh, did Andrew evade taxes in England 9 years ago? No. Andrew and Tristan both did. We worked different jobs back then, but we're both implicated in this. So every single attack comes on both of us. Every single attack. Next time they charge Andrew with something, they'll charge me with exactly the same crime. I mean, I left America when I was 8 years old. Who knows? Maybe I sexually assaulted someone when I was 7. Good. If they find that and drag that up, Andrew would have coincidentally done something at exactly the same time. It's always both of us. And we always travel together, so we make a slightly easier target, minus my armed security who follow us everywhere. So yeah, they definitely try and get both of us because there's no point. There's no point in trying to shut one of us up unless you get the other one.
Tristan, you've made a profound impact on many people, including myself.
Thank you.
Your mission, the way you carry yourself, have deeply influenced my beliefs and many others. With that in mind, I'd like to explore what truly matters to you when it comes to your mission and how it differs from your brother's, if it does.
Sure.
Can you elaborate on what your mission is and why it's important to you?
My mission is to prevent the erosion of the culture of humanity that built the world. When I'm a history nerd myself, when I look at the attitudes and the mindsets of all the people who've built the modern world, every single great idea was established by a great man. And all of these people had a very similar way of working and a very similar mindset, irrespective of where in the world they were born and the time period they were born. I think that new think, as me and Andrew brand it, is a new way of doing things. It's a new untested way of trying to run the culture of the world. And what have we accomplished? How old are you?
23, yeah.
Greatest accomplishment, human accomplishment in your lifetime. Go. Tell me one.
Greatest accomplishment.
Human. Any human accomplishment. Greatest one. Because it seems that we've stopped doing good things, doesn't it? I mean, in my opinion, first man to climb Mount Everest, men who landed on the moon. There were various human accomplishments, whether you buy it.
That's crazy when you think about it. Who is the fucking last person to do something crazy? I don't even know the answer to that shit myself. But I don't pay attention to like accomplishments and shit. But it don't matter if you pay attention to shit or not. You're gonna see it at some point, whether it's on social media or if you still read the fucking newspaper like an old head. You still gonna see it. But still, that's crazy, bro. I never thought about it like that.
Or not, that were made, that humans strive for, and anybody could tell you from the older generations during their time period what the greatest things humanity did was. It seems now we're stuck in a rut where nothing great is happening. Culture's just slowly getting eroded. Currency is getting eroded. There's a new war every once in a while. New people die. New scandals happen. But nothing is actually being accomplished or being done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that new think has proven itself to be a viable way of progressing the global culture. So I'm just trying to take that back a little bit. If I was a man living in 1931, nobody would think anything about my views was crazy or wild, or any other point in human history. Nobody would call my views wild or crazy. It's only today. So if today was overwhelmingly more successful than all the various times in the past, of course we have more up-to-date technology, but that's true in every single time period. If today was overwhelmingly better, the quality of life was better, people were better, I'd have to take a step back and analyze myself and think, am I wrong to be stuck in the past? But it seems the future doesn't have anything great for anyone to even look forward to.
Do you think AI is a great human achievement?
I mean, it's as of right now, it's a very complicated thing that's developed, and technology keeps getting better. But I don't think AI is very useful to the common man who can't afford his groceries, whose children are being stabbed to death on the streets of London. I don't think AI is a great saving grace that's going to help us all, unless you use it to bring in a totalitarian form of tyranny on everybody.
Damn, that's 100% facts. At the end of the day, AI can and will be used for negative things, for negative reasons. I can already see it. I can already see it happening on some iRobot type shit. So, I think Tristan's right on that shit. Like, I don't think AI benefits the common working person at all. I don't.
You know, it would be a very scary police force if it was in charge of the world's security. It would be terrifying. But is that what we want? Technology so good that we can submit humans into behaving in an amicable and respectable way by fear? You know, what's AI done? It's made some cool photos. There's a photo of me and Elon Musk riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But is that really that useful right now? The implications of AI in the future are going to be extraordinary. Yes, absolutely. By the time it gets good enough, when they say, I mean, let's take a Boeing 747 airliner. Dozens of men sat around for decades designing this plane, the most efficient way to run this wire, to put the fuel tanks, and they sit there with a pen and paper, a blue sheet, and a white chalk, and they drew up this design. When AI is good enough to say, I want a plane more efficient than the Boeing 747 design one, and it just comes up with blueprints, that's when it's going to be truly groundbreaking. But as of right now, I don't see any major breakthroughs in humanity that have made me more hopeful for the future of humanity, if that makes sense.
So your brother says that he's been enjoying boredom. He says that fun is haram and having less fun is more fun. So Android hasn't impacted as much, but how has getting off house arrest affected your day-to-day?
It made me furious off house arrest. Then when they expanded my territory so I can leave Bucharest and I could travel the whole country, everyone always asks me, oh, doesn't that feel good? No, it doesn't. Let's say I cut off both your arms and both your legs, and 3 months later I give you one of your legs back, and people start waving microphones in your face. Hey, aren't you happy to have a leg? You'd be like, well, no, because I've never done anything wrong, and you never should have cut off all my limbs in the first place. And then you've got a leg and an arm left. They reattach one somehow. Hey, aren't you happy? You got an arm again. You'd be like, this is fucking bullshit what you're doing to me. And this is wrong what you're doing to me. So no, I don't give a shit that you're giving me an arm back until this whole thing is dismissed. And more importantly, the people who perpetrated it have faced justice harsher than me. I will not be happy. So I don't feel good.
You know, I used to think and wonder why they always said that they weren't happy about being off house arrest. But when you explain it like that, now I understand why they wouldn't be happy. I never looked at it from that type of perspective. So it makes 100% sense why they wouldn't be happy about getting off house arrest when they never should have even been on fucking house arrest in the first place, you know.
You know, I left my house and everyone's waving microphones in my face. Aren't you happy that you can go to restaurants again? I should never have had my liberty deprived of me in any way, ever, because I've lived my whole life without committing any crimes, ever. So it doesn't fill me with joy. No, it's just another level of insult. And what's extra insulting about it is that they think that this is somehow a favor or I should be happy about it. No, I'm not happy about any of it.
What do you miss most?
Not having to explain myself to people. I like not having to explain myself to people. I like waking up and thinking, you know what? I'm going to go to South Korea. Why? Who's going to ask me why? Nobody. I can just go. Now, when I need to go to various places, it's, oh, hi, police officer. Can I please not sign on this piece of paper on this day so I can please go to this town? It's like, why am I explaining myself to these people? That's the upsetting part about it. So I miss most having agency over my own life, and I should have agency over my own life, but I don't. And I think that's what I'm going to enjoy getting back, even though I should never have lost it in the first place. The sense of just being able to do whatever I like, because that's how a man in my position, having never committed a crime, should be living. That's what I'm going to be happy when I do.
Man, having to sign a paper just to go to a town or a different city, that shit is crazy, bro. I couldn't, I legit, like, I can't imagine going through the type of shit they're going through right now. Like, hell no, boy. Having to get permission from a police officer just to go fucking go somewhere. Like, imagine, you know, this chick or yo female, whoever, she want to smash and you want to smash too. And you trying to go over to her house. You got to tell a police officer and sign a paper. Yeah, I'm trying to go over to this house. Okay, but why are you trying to go to this house? Because I want some pussy. Like, come on, bro. You can't make this shit up. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, that's wild. They really be doing too much.
You get it back. But then my quest for justice starts. If they throw the case out, or if I'm found not guilty, that's not justice. Justice is when everybody else pays for what they did. That's when I get justice. And that may take me 1 year. It may take me 20. But I'm very petty and I've got a lot of time. So everyone is going to face justice.
So regarding the current legal case, a Florida judge ruled that 2 of the victims in your case were lying about the allegations.
Yeah.
I saw on one of your shows that you can, for some reason, speak about some things that Andrew can't. Why is that? Like,
the charges against me and Andrew, it's the same case, but the charges against me and Andrew are different. And yeah, you know, it's not even very exciting for me. The fact that, and we will talk about the legal case, I've shared it a million times. The mainstream media have never picked up on it. But when the police took the phones of my 2 false accusers, they found messages in their phones. Yeah, we're going to lie to the police. Oh, let's wear sunglasses and pretend we're crying so we look more victimized. We're going to win Oscars for our lies to the Romanian authorities.
Let me read the shit. What's that? It says, we are so good, though. We need a fucking Oscar. Let's go. Let's just go play it cool. And change my name so it will not start with a something. Lol. Got it. Yeah, I told you to be like saying a nice message and that we are hurt or shit like that. And we do love them, but just don't like the situation. That's crazy, bro. Like, they're legit got a fucking. And this says, this was 1 day before the raid happened. On 4/11/2022. That shit is crazy. Like, this is, you see this shit, right? This is a gold digger lying in real time. You guys can see the evidence of a gold diggers lying in real time and still nobody believing it because they have a pussy between their fucking legs. Like, this shit's crazy, bro.
Authorities. We're going to get our own Netflix series after this. That was found on day one. I'm in jail and they already know this. Like, it was already established. And every judge I've seen, I'm like, why don't you just read their confession and let me go? So the fact that now the Florida judge is saying, looks like these girls were lying. I'm like, well, that's what I've been saying for 2 years, you know? So everything's moving very slowly, but it is moving in the right direction. And that's ironclad proof taken off their phones, which is in the Romanian investigation files. They didn't include it in the indictment. Indictments are made to make you look guilty. So, oh yeah, he definitely human trafficked these girls. All these theories about why I do it is all in the indictment. Andrew's things he said online, all in the indictment. Their confessions for lying somehow didn't make it in there, which is crazy. So Romania could play whatever games it likes. That's my point about finding real justice. I have American lawyers who will find these false accusers, first of all, civilly liable. And then once they're proved civilly liable, hopefully I can find them criminally liable for doing this and have them serve some jail time. That would be very nice, because I think false accusations are really cruel in the way that I may not give a shit because I'm built different and I'm rich and I can handle jail. But there are a lot of men put through the same accusations I would have been put through, having to deal with what I went through, who would have killed themselves, whose families would have fallen apart, whose businesses would have fallen apart. And it really diminishes from the seriousness of real allegations, you know?
Man,
if there was a man...
It's like all these bitches claiming rape and this and that. Because they regret sucking some dude's dick or some shit. They're degrading the actual victims who really got raped or really got human trafficked or really went through any of that shit. They're degrading them and taking credit away from them when they do shit like this. And this sucks. This is what society's all about now, man. Clout and attention. Ooh, I regret sucking somebody's dick, so let me go ahead and just cry on camera, some crocodile tears, and get everybody to believe me, and blah 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 blah. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. But no, for real though, I would hate to legally piss off somebody like fucking Andrew or Tristan, because like, we all know how petty Tristan is. So when he says that he has time to go search out real justice, you know he's not fucking lying, and he's not going to stop until he gets it. It's just blocked over 60 people for viewing the story and not following me. Hell no, boy. Can't make this shit up. Can't make the shit up. I tell you what, though, boy, these fucking burritos are slapping.
I'll take you, for example. Let's pretend. I don't know what you say online, but let's pretend you're saying things that I know they don't like.
Yeah.
You're saying things against funding foreign wars, and you're saying things against, I don't know, the COVID vaccines or whatever. If you were saying those things and you were actually a rapist and a girl says you raped her, I'd be like, well, that's bullshit. It's a false accusation, even if it were true, because this is what they do to people who say the wrong things. Does that make sense? So it takes away from the seriousness of the real crimes committed. The fact that the judges in Florida are doing their part is fine. There's going to be a lot of judges making a lot of judgments over the next 10 to 15 years against a lot of people, some of them in this country and some of them outside. And I will slowly destroy all of these people. Whether they set me up and send me to jail or not, I will slowly destroy all of these people just to clear my name, and because it will be funny. Because they won't be able to handle it like I can handle it, you know? And they deserve it, frankly, because they're the real criminals.
Yeah. Where's the case currently at?
Here's the wild thing. So I was falsely accused 2.5 years ago. I've been under a form of arrest for 700 days now. And we are not even at the stage when a decision has been made, a final decision has been made to whether or not it goes to trial. So in October, the appeal court judges could say, yeah, you know what, this does look like crap. Nah, fuck it, no trial. 2 years of arrest.
That's crazy when you think about it, bro. Fucking over 2 years. Over 2 years. And they haven't even decided to go to trial with you. That's how you know they are just straight up bullshitting and they're fingering themselves in their ass along with this fucking case, bro. They're just fingering themselves along with this case. It's crazy.
And they could just throw it away. Are they going to try and hit me with some new charges on some new bullshit? Maybe. Who knows? But I'm ready for it. You set them up, I'll knock them down, But we're not even at the stage where they decide if there will be a trial, let alone a trial actually instigating, and the years of time that will take. So it's just trying to drain me of my energy and my life force and my resources and my influence. And quite frankly, it's done the opposite. So thank you very much to my false accusers and the corrupt Romanian prosecutor who decided to do this to me. Thank you.
I'll get into this a bit more later, but Tristan, why don't you give a fuck? Like, you seem so apathetic about it, like you don't care. You're like, put me in jail.
How would giving a fuck help me?
Fair.
How would it assist my current situation? It wouldn't. So imagine you're on a cruise liner and you're sailing from Liverpool to New York, right? You know the story of the Titanic. You're not that young. And everyone's like, oh, there are icebergs in the ocean. Cool. Well, I'm going to put on my tuxedo and I'm going to go to dinner. If we hit one, we hit one. That's the situation I feel like I'm in right now. I'm sitting on the HMS Titanic ordering a luxurious dinner because if they decide to send me to jail, they fucking decide to send me to jail. If this all goes away, it all goes away. It's going to end one way or another. And I'm not going to be in jail for the rest of my life. I'm going to do 5 years, 6 years on this bullshit. I'll still be rich. I'll still be 40. I'll still be out. I'll still have time with my kids. Everything's going to be okay eventually. So yeah, caring, I don't think really would benefit my situation at all. So I've decided not to. I don't care at all. And they really fucked up. Because if I had never been to jail, this cloud hanging over my head of, oh, maybe you'll go to jail, maybe you won't. They go out sometimes if you don't light them often enough.
Yeah.
This cloud hanging over my head might bother me. And I might think, jail, what's that like? Is that going to be bad? I've experienced jail. I've been baptized by the fire already. The worst thing this government can legally do to me is just put me back where they took me out from. And I'm not nervous about that anymore. I'm not nervous about the jail itself. I'm not nervous about the effects on my business or my family or my influence. Most people will know this is a setup because probably by the time Romania decides it's time to put Tristan in jail and he's guilty, I would have won in the American courts. And that news will be everywhere. And everyone will know who my false accusers were and what they said and how they bragged about planning it. And then if Romania decides to put me in jail, good, then Romania looks stupid. It doesn't affect me. So I truly don't care because I'm not at the stage in my life where jail is going to massively interrupt anything. I'm no longer on my way to the top. I'm not on my ascent to the top. I've reached the top. So I'm going to go to jail as a rich man, come out as a rich man. Fucking do it, Do it. You told the whole world I'm a human trafficker. Put me in jail. I don't care. So, yeah, why should I care?
He's one of them people that has a luxury of not giving a fuck. And that's not a bad thing. A lot of people wish they had that luxury, but they haven't got to that point yet. But the hard work, the work ethic that they have, the consistency that they put in, the dedication that they put in, they earn the ability to not give a fuck. That's a fact.
Let's transition a bit to women. I watched an interview between you and Billy Redhorse a while back.
So this is 5.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. I will say as a disclaimer that I've been talking on the internet for a very long time.
Yeah.
Probably about 10 years or so. So I was maybe 11. I was about 25 when I started talking on the internet. And a 25-year-old man's views of women and relationships in life are very different to a 36-year-old man's views. So it's very easy to pick up clips of me saying all sorts of outlandish bullshit, because I've said loads of it, as a young, brash 25-year-old who thinks he's the shit. And as an older, smarter 36-year-old, there are lots of things that Tristan Tate of the past has said that I wouldn't agree with today. So that's the disclaimer before you ask me any questions.
I don't think anything in here is non-congruent with your current beliefs. It's all pretty good, but
let's go.
What's the importance of being a gentleman?
Well, there are lots of different answers I can give to this. But the importance of being a gentleman in today's age of lawfare and these attacks that can be sent to destroy your life is, I didn't quite understand this my whole life when I've always treated people with respect and been polite. But 200 and something women who I've been with in one way or another, friends of mine, lovers of mine, ex-girlfriends of mine, have been dragged into police cells and interviewed for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And the only goal of the interview was to get them to say that in some way they're a victim of mine. Did he ever hit you? Did he ever lock you in a house? Did he ever constrict your movements? Did he ever? And none of them, because they will call me after the interview and say, these idiots are trying to say that I'm a victim of yours. And I told them where to get lost. These are women who I haven't had contact with sometimes in 6, 7, 8 years. Haven't seen them. Haven't heard their name. Their messages have never popped up on my phone. And they're sitting there with police officers saying, no, Tristan's a good dude. What the fuck are you doing this for? So
That's crazy, bro. They go after everything that they most certainly possibly could go after, bro. And it's just like, damn, it shows you how desperate the Matrix really is, bro. They're down bad. It's cracking and they don't know what the fuck to do. So they start running around like fucking chicken with their head cut off. Trying to do everything they can to get rid of these two people who are continuously, excuse me, I'm fighting the hiccups, making cracks in the Matrix, continuously waking people up out of their sleep, unplugging people from the machine, and all types of shit. They're continuously doing all these things. And they're trying everything that they possibly can to stop them. Matrix is trying everything they possibly can to stop them because it's going against their plans. And they're like, no, we can't have this shit happen. So they go after 8, 9-year-old relationships. I mean, y'all seen that happen to Trump. This bitch talked about locker room talk, and he raped me in the locker room, or he groped me in the locker room, and this and that. Fucking back in like the fucking, I don't know, what was it, the 80s? 70s, 80s, 90s, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it's crazy, boy. They'll go after some shit that happened a long ass time ago. Try and get you locked up. And they'll go after something that a long ass time ago that evidently here didn't even fucking happen. And it's just like, damn.
if you ever get caught up in something like I'm caught up in, I mean, there are videos of celebrities, saying no names, videos of them beating the shit out of women in hotel lobbies. And there's like, oh, well, they can't prosecute this guy because it was too long ago.
Hmm.
I'm like, well, that's convenient for him. He's obviously in the club that I'm not in.
Yeah.
But that kind of toxic behavior towards women and people in general will always come back one way or another to bite you. And I've always believed that. Way before I ever would have believed that I'd be arrested and put in jail with all my ex-girlfriends interviewed about me.
You know, it's funny when he said celebrities beating women in the hotel room. That was the first person that I thought about too when I seen that fucking hotel footage. This shit funny as hell.
Way before I ever believed that, I knew that behaving in a derogatory way or an impolite way or a
Oh, damn, my
trashy
phone
way or a
gonna
toxic
die.
way
Fuck
towards
me.
people was just never going to pay off.
Give me a minute, y'all. My phone's about to die. Yes. All right, we are back. I have successfully saved my phone from dying. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump back into this shit. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
In the long run, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cute. I like to treat the women who are in my life with respect, and the men, everyone I know. So I'm a gentleman in all aspects, because I feel it's very important, because what goes around does eventually come around. And I'm now reaping the benefits of the seeds I sowed in the past by just generally not being a horrible person to anyone. I've had girlfriends tell the police, well, he wasn't a very good boyfriend, cheating on me loads of times, but is that a crime? We can do put him in jail? Like, yeah, he cheated on me, but did he ever hit me or treat me bad? Or no, he didn't. He was nice.
It's interesting how they can omit all the nice things that have probably been said.
Oh no, all those hundreds of interviews. Oh yeah, that's all omitted. Because the indictment is just the worst stuff they could find to make you look like a criminal. They've been through all my hard drives. I mean, all these famous celebrities and these people especially work for the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC. Every time their hard drives get analyzed, what's found? Child porn, the worst shit. And I've now been through that extreme level of investigation. And, some of the text messages I've sent, maybe I could have phrased them differently, referring to girls in a joking way as, you're my bitch or you're my slave. This is normal shit that people say to each other, However, when you see it in a police indictment, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't actually own slaves, guys. This is clearly a joke. But that's the worst stuff they could possibly find on me. And I'm like, well, that's a testament, because I feel like most people, especially my detractors, especially the people who are porn addicts and, all these people who hate on Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate, I'd love to go through their hard drives. I'd love it.
It always ends up being the fucking people that are doing the most accusing, or the ones that are guilty of what they're accusing people of. Like, you can't make that shit up. Like, that's actually how crazy it is, bro. That's how crazy it is.
Love it. If federal agencies went through their hard drives and their, internet history and their conversations and see exactly what came up, because they were hoping they'd find something. They knew these two girls were lying. That wasn't the point. The reason they're running with it now is because those two girls' lies is all they've got. They've analyzed me in every single way since, and hoped to God they'd find drugs in my house. Hoped to God they'd find some illicit pornography on my phone. Never found, never existed.
I want to talk more about women, but I'm interested in the case. So you speak a bit of Romanian, right?
Yeah.
Is it rudimentary? Like, what's your level of Romanian?
I mean, I speak Romanian like Borat speaks English, is the best example I give.
Gotcha.
I butcher it. They understand basically what I'm saying, and I can understand them.
When you were getting details of the case and court documents and such, of course, you're completely honest with Andrew, but were there any times that you maybe softened the blow of how bad it would be? Like, you got the Romanian and you kind of...
Well, no, I never had to soften the blow. And people copy and paste this stuff in the indictment to me all the time. Keep in mind, the indictment is written by an aggressive, corrupt prosecutor who wants me in jail. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is from my indictment. There are 2 paragraphs saying the Tate brothers conspired to lure women to a party, to pick potential victims, to try to exploit them somehow and pimp them out. And so it's stuff I've never done. And there's this whole explanation of this is why they throw parties. And here's a photo of them at a party with the girls. And here's our evidence. It's a WhatsApp conversation. Hey, Andrew, I'm throwing a party tonight. You coming? Yeah, I'll be home. Cool. How many girls did you invite? 12, 13. That's it. So they write this fictional story and they illustrate it with a picture of me at a party and that little WhatsApp conversation, which I'm sure you guys have all had the exact same conversation, right? But in the hands of a prosecutor. So I've never had to soften the blow because it's just a load of crap. And it's not about what they say that I've done. It's what evidence do you have to prove I've done these things? And the answer is always
not a damn thing.
Almost zero, or misinterpreted, heavily edited, by the way, WhatsApp conversations. That's all they've got.
On women, what's the most aggressive thing a woman's done to gain your attention?
Jesus. I mean, I have a girl who follows me everywhere I go.
Andrew said she's the best.
even today.
Yeah.
So anywhere I am in the city, if she follows the car spotter pages on Instagram and gets word that I'm anywhere,
Oh,
she'll
hell
come and
no.
try and, you know,
Oh,
follow me.
hell
And she's a very
no.
attractive woman.
That's crazy. Like, I get females doing that, but still, anybody in general, like that's crazy, bro. Like, there really be people out there that are that fucking obsessed with you that they'll follow you the second they get a whiff that you're out, they are going to follow your ass. That's crazy, bro. That's wild.
So this is the fucked up thing. Like, my problem is getting rid of them. I don't understand how. I mean, you can literally type the word child molester or human trafficker or rapist into Google image search and look at all the images of the people who commit these crimes. I doubt you have those problems. You know, these guys have problems that me and you don't have. So yeah, I have women aggressively follow me. I have women show up at my house. I was once dating a girl from London. I'm not going to say her name. It was a while back, and a stalker of mine shows up at my house at 3 a.m. And let's say my current girlfriend's name was Susan. It's a fake name. But I get a call from my security guard saying, Susan's at the door. She won't leave. She's ringing the doorbell. I'm like, Susan, she lives in London. What the fuck? Like, it's 3 a.m. I fucking get worried. I walk downstairs. I look at my security monitors, and there's my stalker standing outside. So she found out the name of my current girlfriend and tried to use the name to get into my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to keep these women out of my house.
That is, bro. Some people are just wild, bro. I could not be that obsessed with somebody. I couldn't like females being obsessed with dudes. Like, I get it. That's how it's supposed to be. But damn, learn to at least control your fucking obsession, bro. Like, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine having somebody constantly following me or trying to get into my house and all types of crazy ass shit. Like, that's wild. Like, these people have no sense of privacy at all whatsoever. They just want to be all up in your business. Whatever it is you're doing, they want to be a part of. Wherever it is that you're at, they want to be at with you. If you're asleep, they want to be asleep with you. If you're awake, they want to be awake and sitting and or standing next to you and or maybe even on you. I don't know, bro. Some people are just fucking crazy when it comes to obsessions.
What universe am I trying to keep them in? You know, the only thing I've ever forced a woman to do in my house is to get out. I said that to the prosecutor's face.
Yeah.
So yeah, women are crazy, and it makes me empathize for women who have male stalkers, because I can only imagine how scary that would be.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew finds it hilarious, as you know. This girl follows me around, and there was one who followed me around in the past. And
That is definitely something that a sibling would do, is laugh at the younger sibling for having somebody following him around constantly. This shit is funny as hell.
it's not intimidating. It is funny. But
How long has she been around for?
the one who's following me now, she's been
Yeah.
following me for 4 years.
Wow.
Oh, hell
every
no.
she would come outside the jail, scream my name. Every time I go to court, she's there. And there's no reasoning with her. She's just part of the scenery now.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere I go, I expect to see her. My security guards all know who she is.
That's crazy.
Is
Yeah,
there
what-
a specific type of woman you seem to attract?
That is a next level dedication right there.
No, I wouldn't say there's a specific type. There's a specific type that maybe I'll go for, but there's not a specific type of woman who actually. No, actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. My super fans online, the ones who write me fan fictions about me kidnapping them, like these obsessed women who are obsessed with the idea of me, women who I've never met, are all kind of American, mainly lonely, 35 to 45, married or divorced. Like, I get really crazy fan mail. And it always starts with something like, oh, Tristan, I know you're innocent and I know you're not a bad guy. But if you were into, you know, tying women up and keeping them in your house, you know, well, I'd happily come over. But I'm like, nice try, officer. But
Yeah,
anyway, I get a lot of crazy women attracted to me. I think people with very dull marriages, just as being, I guess, a celebrity, because I'm kind of famous now, the kind of woman who obsesses over me online isn't the type of woman that I typically like to be with. No.
Has gaining this sort of status and fame made you realize how many women are disloyal? This is something I spoke with Waller about a little bit.
getting status and fame, because you can always, and I've noticed this with the things Andrew and I say, you're not doing it, but they're often misconstrued to be somehow a negative statement against women. So every time I'm about to make one, I like to make the point that it's not just women.
Very fair.
Having money, having status, having fame definitely shows you how disloyal people are. So that's an example that I can apply to some women who I've met in my life. And it's an example I can apply to probably more men who I've met in my life. So I think that's just part of the package. But it's very good to go through hard things and to, get sent to jail and to have all these attacks against you, because then you understand and realize who actually has your back, who's standing by your side. And you mentioned Justin Waller. Justin Waller's also, man. When he was in America, I got out of jail. He goes, "I'm coming to see you, boys." I say, "You sure? What if they arrest you and stuff?" He goes, "I ain't fucking scared of jail." He's over at my house drinking whiskey with me. He doesn't give a shit, because he's one of those guys who's always got my back. So yeah, it's people are disloyal, men and women, and less disloyal. I use the term self-interested more than disloyal, because they're not looking to stab you in the back. They're looking to further whatever agendas they have, whether it be
that's what I've always said, bro. Most people have hidden agendas when they be trying to come around you and come up in your circle and shit. And you got to pay attention to who's around you and how they act and shit, bro. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying that shit before. Tate speaking facts, bro.
famous, make money. So it's not that they necessarily want to throw you under the bus. They're just so self-interested that the benefit to them will outweigh any damage it will do to you in their own minds.
Do men peak between the ages of 35 and 45?
In some ways, that's cope for older dudes who are fat and lonely, LARPing in this magical universe that they're at peak age. Men peak for different reasons at certain times. I would say that I'm in my peak. I'm in my peak financially, my mindset, my intellect, everything there is about being a man within my soul and my brain and my heart is all peaked now. And I've improved with age in that way. But I've certainly got a lot less hair. When I was 27, I could probably beat myself up now at 27 years old, even though I was much lighter. I was a professional kickboxer. I was in, let's say, better shape, fewer injuries. So you fall apart in some ways and you come together in others.
On your hair, why aren't you bald? Because Andrew talks about this, that his dad said like having hair was...
I don't look good with a bald head. Yeah. I've also had a difficult life.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That was a dumbass question. That was a dumbass question, bro. You can't make this shit up. This dude went from asking a square business to ask questions to why are you not bald? Like, what? Like, this dude wants to see Tristan's bald ass head or something, bro. Like, come on. I'm gonna give him the pass because it's only been one stupid ass question. If he asked it again, I'm gonna have to give him strike one.
I have a bunch of scars down the side of my head from various car crashes, etc. So the moment I shave my head, I look like a thug, and I prefer not to.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to fight the battle against losing my hair for the rest of my life. But no, I think that a lot of men like me, who grew up broke, who put the work in their entire life, can get to 35, 37, 36 I am now, probably older, and feel like, yes, now I'm in my peak. I get that. But never let that be an excuse for the men who are just coping. The men who, I don't know, were former Marines or they were in better shape or what, and they've just got married to some ugly bitch, had a few kids, they're broke, working some dead-end job. And they're like, yeah, I've peaked. I'm 40 years old now. I think that it's also a get out of jail free card for a lot of people who don't want to continue doing the work. I have to train twice as hard now to be in the shape I used to train half as hard to be in back in the past. So you peak in some ways, and you'll notice that as you get older. Maybe I'll sit with you when you're my age and you'll have a lot less hair.
Yeah.
But so it depends what you mean peak. And women, and I guess a lot of women find older men attractive. A lot of women, even 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, do you notice you get more female attention at this age? Because you dated a very famous model here when you were at a young age.
Yeah, I was 28 back then.
Okay.
And I wasn't famous either. That was the first time I ever saw my face in a newspaper. But again, I've always been a man who tries very hard. I've always been a man who, tries his best to be as smart and as sharp and as rich and as professional as possible. Me at 28, as a man measured against who I am today, he doesn't even compare. But I still did okay for my age. So yeah, there's different ways of peaking. It's a lot less simple than the female peak of attractiveness everyone talks about. It's a lot less simple than that, and it's a lot more complicated.
Have you ever been brutally rejected by a
No, that's facts, bro. I've seen a lot of people in their fucking 30s, whether it's early 30s or mid 30s, late 30s, even into their 40s, who sit around and like to pull the old person card. Oh yeah, man. Well, I'm old and my body ain't the same like it used to be, and this, that, and the third, as an excuse to not do shit. It's just like, bruh, you can't make this shit up. Like, there's still so many people out there that are full of potential, that are in their 30s to 40s, that just let themselves go because they're like, yeah, man, I peaked a long time ago and I ain't like I used to be no more, and blah, 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 blah. Like, shut your stupid ass up. If you don't get your bitch ass out there and do something, come on now, bro. Be fucking, get yourself in shape. You can be a fitness trainer. You can be a youth guide. You can be all these different things because you're older and you got all this knowledge, you got all this wisdom. But instead, you'd rather rot away. That's a damn shame. So yeah, man, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there for part 1 of this. We're definitely going to come back and check out another part 2. So with that being said, make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, mamas, aunties, and grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. You go ahead and get this outro pulled up, and then we are going to bounce.
Wish death on me, Lord, I don't cry anymore. Don't look to the sky anymore. Have mercy on me, have mercy on their souls. Somewhere their hearts turned cold. Have mercy on many Dems. Many, 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 many Dems. Wish death on me. Some days wouldn't be special if it wasn't for rain. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain.